My name is Carolyn Ji-young Park. I'm running for Judge of the Superior Court, Office 118 in LA County.
Some of the current committee members don't know how this judge election system works. Tell us a bit about being an elected judge. How long is the term? When's the election? Things like that.
So when a judge seat is vacated close to the time of an upcoming election, there are what are called open seats. And so then candidates can throw their names in the hat, and they have to pick an office number. And the number is really just attached to a vacant seat. It's not any geographical area or a certain type of court. It's just a vacancy. And this time, in this election, there are 6 open seats that are up for election in the general election. And I am up for one of them. Again, it's not tied to any geographical area or to any type of court. When we're elected, we can be assigned to any of the different types of courts in LA County. There are 8 different types, including civil, criminal, small claims, traffic, juvenile, family, and others. And we can be assigned anywhere in the county.
I know you've been practicing, especially the labor industry and also workers out there to defend their right. Why you decided to run for this judge's or court position?
So I was actually asked to run by a nonprofit group that is trying to diversify the judiciary in terms of legal background. And not just in terms of legal background. We also need more women, and we also need more people of color, including Asian Americans. Women make up only 37% of the judges in the trial court system in the LA Superior Court system. And Asian Americans make up 8% of the trial court judges in California, but make up 15% of the population in California. And also, prosecutors win almost 80% of the judge seats in LA Superior Court. A public defender has never won a judge election in LA County. So although I'm not a public defender, I defended workers within the union, and that kind of perspective, working directly with the people of LA County, that perspective is missing from the judiciary. So we are trying to include more judges in the judiciary who have a people perspective and community informed perspectives.
You said you were asked by this group of people out there. Is it nonpartisan group or is it a partisan group?
It's a nonpartisan. It's not affiliated with any party. It's a coalition made up of some orgs that are specifically La Defensa, Working Families Party, and Ground Game LA. And Ground Game LA helped get Council Member Nithya Raman elected.
I know you're supported and also endorsed by this labor activist or labor movement activists and also Democrats. What does that mean to you? Does that mean it is going to be reflected on your platform and you are elected?
So I am running in a nonpartisan position. However, I believe that almost all of the judicial candidates are actually Democrats. So I personally don't think it means all that much in terms of differences between the candidates. that I'm a Democrat, but it does make a difference that I am backed by a lot of labor unions, because they're supporting me because of the work that I've done. The work that I've done is, you know, in labor unions, representing workers. And I think that there are many workers and organizations that represent workers who are supporting me, and I'm honored to have that support.
I know you have a lot of things to do differently when you're elected. Could you pinpoint like 2 things that you want to do differently, or not as like status quo?
Yes. So I am honored to be endorsed by the Court Interpreters Union. And the court interpreters see every day the way that a lot of people who go into the courts are not receiving the kinds of interpretation services that they need. So that is something that is very important to me, especially as a daughter of Korean immigrants. You know, my mother speaks Korean to me still, and I often interpret things for her. And it's important that if someone like my mother ever goes to court, that she has the interpretation services that she needs to be able to have a fair trial.
Now, some of the technical things, out of primary, you were behind 70K, I believe. What does that mean to you? And also, next month, how is it going to be unfolded when it comes to numbers?
So I had a race in which there were a lot of candidates. I think my race had the largest pool of candidates. And the endorsements by various organizations were spread out amongst the candidates. So the votes were pretty spread out amongst the 5. There were 6 candidates. One candidate really didn't receive very many votes, but the other 5, amongst the other 5, the votes were spread out pretty evenly. And so it really just reflects the fact that there were a lot of candidates that a lot of people liked. And so it's really a toss-up as to what's going to happen in the general election. Like I said, you know, prosecutors win nearly 80% of the judge seats. The people that support me have been working extremely hard to reach voters to try to change that and have some other perspectives in our judges. So we'll just have to see what happens.
I think your opponent, the Mr. Hammond, was endorsed by LA Times and some of the medias and you know, some of the figures that we know are around the county. What's your the biggest strategy for this fight next month? What's your like a hidden card that you want to show?
So I'm on a slate of judicial candidates called the Defenders of Justice. There are 4 of us. We're women. The other 3 are public defenders. Their names are Holly Hancock, Elizabeth Lashley Haynes, and Anna Raytano. And we are challenging the status quo. And whenever people are challenging the status quo, there are people who are resistant, because change is scary to a lot of people. But the status quo is that there are too many prosecutors. And there was a 2021 study that showed that judges with a prosecutor background are 56% less likely to decide in favor of a worker in an employment claim than a judge with a non-prosecutor background. So prosecutorial bias is real and is proven. So that's why it's so important to have other perspectives, other legal backgrounds, in addition to the fact that we need more Asian American representation, we need more African American representation, we need more women on the bench. And, you know, there are, I think, when you look at organizations like the LA Times, their editorial board is still not as diverse as it should be. Other organizations that you know, favored my opponent, I think people should look at the makeup of those organizations as well, you know.
I know your family is just kind of very excited about this race, and they pretty much jumped in the campaign team. I don't know, what's your comment on that?
Yes, I am so grateful for the support that my family has been providing me. So my parents worked extremely hard to provide for me and my siblings. They were small business owners. They owned mostly restaurants and worked 7 days a week. And I'm going to cry because they worked very hard. Hold on a second. I'm going to start that over.
Take your time.
Yeah, so I'm so grateful for all of the support that my family has been providing to me. My father does some translation work in the immigration courts, so he's been helping me translate some materials into Korean, and then they've also been helping me put signs everywhere all over the county. They've been working very hard doing that, and that's something that they're able to do without speaking English, you know, especially my mother, who isn't, you know, completely fluent in English, at least in writing. That, you know, other candidates receive assistance from their families, you know, with emails and filling out questionnaires or organizing events, and that's not something that they're able to do, but they've provided a ton of support putting the signs everywhere and translating.
Okay, so it's just voting is like 3 weeks away. How can we help you? Or how can anybody out there help you if they feel like they need to support you?
So, if people want to support me, the best thing that people can do is to tell everyone they know in LA County to vote for me and to vote for the other defenders of justice judicial candidates. People can always volunteer or by text banking or postcarding, or you can ask for a sign to put up at your house. But the most important thing is to make sure that you're registered to vote and that you're voting and that you're telling everyone you know to vote in the judge races, which so many people skip. People can also donate, because donations are how we get the word out and put ads in your paper and other ethnic newspapers. But the best thing is to just spread the word.
Now, I'll give you like 30 seconds to pitch for our viewers out there and also readers out there looking at this camera why they need to vote for you in LA County.
안녕하세요. My name is Carolyn G. Young Park. I'm running for Judge of the Superior Court, Office 118 in LA County. I'm running to diversify the judiciary. We need more women, more Asian American women, more Korean Americans, and more attorneys who have worked with the working people of Los Angeles. I've been a labor union attorney and civil rights attorney, and most of the judges who are elected have been prosecutors, almost 80%. It's time to elect more people who have worked with all of the different kinds of people in LA County. Please vote for me this November 8th. Thank you.